Hello and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program, EFCC arrests 120 suspected internet fraudsters in Lagos, seizes luxury cars, jury. JAMB to release results of 379,000 candidates Wednesday. And later on the show, Nigerian police unveils smart station in Abuja, plans more nationwide. The executive secretary of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, Muhammad Shaidu, will join us for the discussion. Well, I'll be hanging out with Dr. Oladipo and Emeka Madunagu. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. Now, while the bad boys continue to perpetrate fraud online, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, is relentless in its efforts to eradicate cybercrime to the barest level. In continuation of its clampdown on cybercrime, the EFCC arrested more than 120 suspected internet fraudsters, comprising 95 males and 25 females, in Lagos. According to the EFCC spokesperson, Dele Oyewale, the arrest was sequel to credible intelligence and thorough surveillance on alleged involvement of the suspects in internet-related fraud. Items recovered during the coordinated operation include 26 exotic cars, an expensive jewelry, smartphones, laptops, and several incriminating documents. Now, the suspects are undergoing further investigation. All right, Emeka, let me start with you. I mean, the EFCC arresting 120, suspected internet fraudsters. I mean, talk to me. Are we doing enough, to checkmate internet fraud in Nigeria? 120 is a lot.
Yeah, we're doing a lot. I think a lot is being done, actually. Otherwise, it could have been worse, we had phishing, we had some other kinds of scams which over the years have been put down, and of course that our society is one, where the internet, penetration, digital awareness is high, and there will be those who want to use it for positive ends, for positive purposes, and those who want to game the system. It's not unexpected. But you see, that is why you have the law enforcement agencies. But I think it's a worrisome thing, because we've come to a point where, it's get rich or die trying. That mantra, made popular by an American rapper. And it has caught on, on our youths so much that you find a lot of young guys, even young girls, getting into this internet fraud. And I think I commend the EFCC, and I hope the EFCC will, continue to work hard, while other agencies of government should also do what they can, to assist the EFCC. Then let me now jump into the home. The home is the primary unit of socialization, of training of the child. I mean, but you find out that there are reports that there have been mothers who paid for their children to be trained in cybercrime.
Their children.
Not just support, pay.
Oh, really?
Pay. How many times has the EFCC busted training academies for these things? And even I learned there was a time, you had this association of something mothers, and I found out about things.
Okay, let me come to you, Dotun, because this thing is the recurring decimal. Almost every time we hear EFCC, parading this suspect. But talk to me, do we really have, do you think there's enough awareness, like a national awareness, to discourage young Nigerians, from going into, internet fraud?
I won't say there is not enough awareness. Because ordinarily, those who perpetrate this crime, they do it under the cover, meaning that they know.
Oh, they know
that it is wrong.
Yeah, of course.
So no doubt about that. It means they are aware. Especially for those who have now taken it a step further by creating academies, schools for training fraudsters. And that's why when this debate comes and people will say EFCC is only arresting Yahoo boys and all the rest, I also say go and look at the figure. Sometimes it's close to what is lost in the banking sector to fraud. For instance, it was established that Nigeria loses about $500 million annually to internet-related fraud. And that's a huge sum, if you ask me. No businessman from outside the country wants to come into that kind of environment where you are likely to lose your money, and our image abroad is affected because you see that some of these activities, in fact, a lot of them are perpetrated on foreigners who, one way or the other, sometimes are able to find their way through the system to get to EFCC, and these guys are arrested. In 2024, the top 5 acts in this country cost those who were affected 82.4 billion naira. And that's a lot. Huge.
Very, very
huge. A cursory look at some of the figures again some years back, so that showed that over 4 years, when it has not gotten to this height, about 25.5 billion was lost. So when you go through all of these things, you will see that those who are saying to the EFCC, it's only Yahoo boys you are chasing around, they need to have a rethink.
Okay, now when we say, internet fraud and all of that, but if you ask some of them, you say, unemployment, poverty, the government is not giving us enough attention. Because of that, we have to
some have put that to positive use.
How credible is this, this reasoning that there's...
Some have put that ability to positive use.
The same ability.
I don't know if you watched...
so it's really not an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse.
It's just greed on the part of those who do it.
There was a time the incumbent chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, said he brought in a teenager into his office. And that guy, under a few minutes, hacked his phone. So he said, you.
Right in the heart of EFCC.
Yes, in his office. He said, you are not going to go away. We are going to put you to positive use. So what that guy needs now is some form of education, and they throw him into the EFCC
Yeah, it
Academy.
reminds me of a film, of a movie. Catch Me If You Can.
Yes, Catch Me If You Can.
But now let's talk about laws now. No, the legal framework. Do we have enough laws, to actually punish appropriately and accordingly? Not a slap on the wrist. Appropriately to actually go after those who have been found guilty.
What this brings to mind is that right now, is it not between 2 and 3 years, that you have, jail sentence. Now, unless you're going to, unless you're going to go the route of El Salvador, that had serious gang problem, and the new president, what he did was he built very solid prisons. With where he puts you need to see the cages. This one is not cells. He put them in cages where, in fact, they have no contact with their families.
I saying we build special prisons.
No, I'm not saying so.
I don't know where you're
you were talking of.
Yeah, I know. But...
So I said, unless we'll be thinking of going the route of El Salvador, even though that has been criticized by human rights organizations, that is draconian, and all of that. But for me, even if you slap life imprisonment on all these people,
it's not going to discourage them.
I think we need to tackle the roots, the root cause.
What is the roots then?
The root cause, the home.
Oh, the home.
Homes where these things are incubated. You know, it's just like when parents don't take care, don't care, you know, about the upbringing of their children, and then they expect the school. You know, when the school teacher, you know, the school principal calls them, that their child has done, oh, this child will not kill me. This child will not. So, you have now surrendered your authority over the child to the school. And that's what you have at a higher level. And you'd say unemployment. Now, because you want to satisfy, is it because you want to satisfy an economic need, so to speak, that you have to ruin the existence of other people? Because
and some it's peer pressure.
There are victims.
Some it's peer pressure.
Yeah, all of us had peer pressure. We all grew up under peer pressure.
When you see your colleague or your schoolmates, you know, parking where your lecturers are parking.
That's not a motivation.
You know, some will call it swag or something.
Yeah, swag, steez and all that, but that's not a motivation. Because, I mean, you should ask yourself a question. Okay, why didn't we join some of these groups on campus, those cults on campus? Like, you know, when, I mean, people told me, oh, this and that, I told one of them, I said, listen, you're from a rich home. If there's any problem, you know, quickly your parents will spring you up.
How about social media? How about social media? He talked about parents. If you remember, I think Franco Lise, you know, once he wants to start, do you know what your children are doing? Do you know where they are? He talked about parents. I'm also looking at social media.
I still think it depends on how you apply your mind to these things. For instance, some people go on social media. As we speak now, they go there to make good money. Legit. So it depends on what you want. It depends on, some people don't want to work. It's our environment, to an extent, encourages that.
The get rich quick.
Yeah. Our environment encourages that. Because you see a man today who is at certain level and is made a counselor, and he moves away from your environment and goes to stay in the areas of the rich. So they seem, okay, this man has made easy money. How do I make mine? And our system should discourage that. Wherever we have, like you said earlier on, this belief that it's easy to make it. That's why we have the likes of the National Orientation Agency and all the rest to keep talking to us.
I guess Larry Onilu, you know, has his work cut off on this, you know, on this matter.
On this matter, because some of the things that these people bring or they offer as excuse when they are arrested, they actually talk to the heart of the problem we have in this country. That's not an excuse. I've always said it. Because all of us here, we also have the capacity to defraud. We are journalists. We can decide to blackmail. It's as good as what we are talking about.
What about Ponzi schemes? We have a lot of information.
Yeah, we have a lot of information
we can put.
Why are we not going into that way? Why are we not going that way?
So it's not an excuse. It's just greed, outright greed.
We know people who make millions legitimately on social media. Is it TikTok? Is it Facebook?
Exactly.
They're making it. Why must it be the other side of it that you are pursuing? It's wrong. And that's the lesson they must keep hammering into the ears of these people. And like you said, maybe we need to go back and look at our laws.
Absolutely.
And say to people, bad behavior must be adequately
and also banks
punished.
should be part of the fight as well. Because they go into the bank and banks should be part of the fight as well. All right, let's move straight to